Welcome to the opening circle of this circle of resilience. And it might be nice for you to get to know us first. So, my name is Marcella.
Oh, and my name is Marika.
Yes, we're doing this together. Um, yeah, and we really felt it was time to birth this project into the world and into the international field because we are both psychologists who have started our own journey of not only um, do things from our heads and from our knowledge, but also from the wisdom of our bodies, our hearts, our souls. And that whole journey invited us to do this and to make this project that we now call the Circle of Resilience. And I told Marika I'm really excited about birthing this project. It really feels like giving life to this idea that we had, and now sharing it with you and with the world. So that really feels special and great. It makes me grateful.
Yeah, definitely. Very grateful. Yeah, I think that it has also really um, kept us aligned with, in this world where so much is happening, to come back to our own hearts, to our own womb spaces as well, to just, you know, go go down, go deep, go grounded, and then you there's something else that comes up when you're faced with all these challenges, because it is a challenging time for so many people and for us as well. So yeah, it's really brought us ourselves a lot as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and one of the things that we've really noticed is that it always starts with, are you at home? Are you, are you at home in your body? Are you present? So we would like to invite you to, just take a second to join with us, and to just, close your eyes if you feel like it, or if you want to keep your eyes open, which is fine as well. There's never a right way or a wrong way, just a checking in with yourself. So maybe you want to, lower your eyes, you lower your gaze a little bit, and then just feel your hands, rub them together so you can get some of the energy, the warmth. We sometimes think that we need so much from the outside world, but we can, kind of make our own energy as well. And when you do this, it's nice to feel if your feet are on the ground, if you feel your sit bones on your chair or the couch or wherever you are, so you have some consciousness about where you are with your body. Mm. And then you let your hands land on somewhere on your body that feels like, oh, I could use a little love. I could use a little tender care. You just feel how that is. And you can start, you know, from your head down to your toes, but you can also just, you know, take some of the places in your body that maybe need a little bit of attention. And to realize that you can always give yourself that attention, that love, that tenderness, that kindfulness. And then I invite you to put one hand on your heart and one on your womb space, your belly. And then we take 3 breaths together. It's like so simple, so easy to do. And sometimes we forget when we're going forward, or going backward. But these 3 breaths invite us to stay in this moment. So with the first breath, You feel all the things that are drawing you backward, things that are, that you keep thinking over and over and over about it. And you let them come up and you release them. And then the second breath, you feel everything that is taking you to the future, the things you still need to do, all the shoots that we have. Don't forget this. Think about that and let it go. And then the third breath is about really fully taking in this moment. Like your breath is your nourishment. And you let it fill up your whole body. Your whole body is a sweet, sweet breath of life. Celebrating this moment together. And then you also let that one go. So this process of opening up and letting go keeps happening. And it's so nice to do it consciously, just for 3 breaths. Yeah. And then you can maybe rub your hands a little over your body again, wiggle your toes, stretch your fingers, and then you can open your eyes. And then before we start our exercise, we would love to light a candle. And I got a new one, especially for this circle. A friend of mine gave it to me, and she bought it from another friend colleague, and it has a little bit of a smell. So the the scent is going to help me as well to stay in the moment. So I'm lighting a candle for us, for our courage, our courageous hearts that we dare to lead. And a candle for you who's listening, because you're making time to be here, to tune into yourself and to be inspired. So thank you very much for showing up. I love women that show up, or people. I love people that show up. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that will not listen to this call, but they are showing up in so many ways. So we're honoring them as well. And I think that if we realize that, like with the breath, that we are connected, that there are lights everywhere in the world, and that, and that there's love everywhere in the world, then something else can happen. So the light is on.
Yes. I always love this image of this web of light surrounding our Earth, our planet, and knowing that we are part of that.
Yeah, and that we're
helped
weaving
by
it.
That.
Yeah, we're held and we're weaving it. It's not like we're not consuming. We're also being, because we show up, we're present. Yeah.
Yeah, we really want to show up here. And one way of inviting you to do so is to remind you of your resilience. And we thought about this and talked about this. And resilience is not something that it's been traveling with us for some time right now. We've been practicing with it. We've been feeling what it does to ourselves, our bodies, our hearts, or, well, like we said, it's so many layers of us that we can invite into being resilient. And I think what's nice to know is that the most important thing for me and for for you, Marika, in resilience is that it's never one thing or the other. It's always both, and where they combine, where you can invite it all in, where you can see that it's never either or, but the whole, the every part of you, of the world, of the connections that we make, where they come together. That's where we can make space and hold space. That's exactly as we said just yet, to show up for yourself and to, whatever happens in life, whatever you feel like is thrown at you, you can find yourself, your center, and ask yourself, what is my response to this? How do I want to show up? How do I want to be here? I always have to sigh with that. Yeah, it's really, for me, it's a really different energy than what I've been living the first part of my life, by doing and goal focused. And there's nothing wrong with focusing on a goal, but there's so many more layers, and where there's, both the feminine and the masculine, the light, the dark, all these things that seem like opposites. Yeah, they need each other. That's what's the biggest insight for me about resilience and showing up.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I think you were
I
gonna
I want
say,
to
wanna
ask
add
you
something.
because I could feel that, with the goal setting, it what happens is that like your vision goes like this, it's just there, and somehow, um, you know, mm, opening up to the polarities and the dance between them. You open up to the magic of life. You open up to, oh wow, there's a flow in life that I can tune into, and that I don't need to fix. I don't need to make it happen. I don't need to, I just need to be, and be, um, and honor my being. And then, stuff happens. It's suddenly there.
Hmm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also how we organized the circle.
Hmm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also, it's not only being present, but also allowing it to happen and flow through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ways to do that are 9 ways to well-being. We thought about this, like I said, we felt it through. It's not only wisdom from our heads, but also from our bodies, from our deeper knowing. And that's how we, kind of made this nice logo. Marika beautifully has drawn it, and that's our 9 petals of the flower of resilience. You can see it like that, and it's the most important thing to me about that is that it's never, one highway to resilience and just follow these 9 steps and then you'll be there. That's not what it's about. It's about this circle with some movement, and you can step in anywhere on any of these 9 ways as an invitation to yourself, and start somewhere. And then the kind of the movement of, and it's never, again, never one petal or the other. They're kind of woven together, and you use them in a way that suits you in this moment, and it
Mm.
can be different each and every day, each and every breath that you take.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good to like connect to each of the ways to see, okay, so where am I at?
Mm.
How do I actually, live my curiosity, my openness to learning, to, or am I, closed off? Or, how do I actually take care of myself? Am I last on my list, or maybe a little bit
I
higher?
be the first. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's our exercise, huh?
Exactly. That's why we want to share this exercise. And I will show you, you can download the logo, the printable logo where it's blank. on the website, circleofresilience.online, at the creative resilience. So take a look there and print it, and or draw it. I've
Yeah.
printed it, but Marika has
Draw.
drawn it herself. So you can do whatever suits you right now. If you want to know more about the 9 ways to well-being, there's another movie about that, or a video about that. So if you want to, you can pause this one and look at them, or maybe look at them later, or maybe you've already seen them. So, but I'll take you with us on this journey of tuning into each and every way, and see with kind of an open heart, where am I right now? So try to just look and feel. Maybe it's more about feeling than knowing where you are. Yeah, and also know that it can change, so that there's never a right or wrong in this. It's just what it's like right now. And yeah, so invite yourself to feel, check into that. Where am I on this one of these ways? And what we'll do is you can use the colors that connect to the one of the 9 ways. So I start with red, which is the color of nurturing self-care. But you can also choose different colors, different kinds of pens, watercolor. Do it your own way. That's what I want to say. Yeah, so we'll take our time to check in with each way, and then you can fill it in your own time. If you need more time, pause the video, and then we'll go on to the next. So we'll start with nurturing self-care, and this is the way of taking care of yourself, on maybe on the physical level of feeding yourself. How much time do you take to sleep, to nurture your body, but also what do you listen to? What do you fill your cup with? What kind of sounds or connections with people do you want to let in, and do you nurture yourself with? What's your way of taking care of yourself, and of not only of your body, but also of all these levels that you are? Your heart, how do you take care of your energy? How do you take care of your soul, your hands that create? So anything that has to do with nurturing yourself. So feel into that, and feel where you are right now. How do you do this? You can see what kind of shape or color, or what it will look like. Don't think about it too much. Just let it happen through your pencil or your paintbrush or whatever.
Yeah, so to be clear, you fill up the petal, right?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah.
So I have an example, actually. It can become something like this. This is the one I did for our Dutch circle. But do it in your own way. And color in one petal. And then when you're ready, no, you don't have to understand what you've drawn. That will come. Then we'll move on, and again, take your time, but we'll also move on to the next one, which is relaxation and recharging. So how you slow down, how do you fill up your cup? How do you, as we said, we move towards our goals, our dreams, our intentions, making it happen, but also how do we come back to maybe doing nothing at all? Just being, spending time with yourself, with your breath. Maybe just smiling.
Yay for smiling.
Yay. And feel where you are with this second way of the 9 ways. You can use any color or shape. Do it your way. And if you want to, you can put your hands on your paper to also let the paper and your hands decide what you do, what it looks like. And then we'll move to creativity and joy. And to me, this is one where I meet Marika a lot of times. It's really about, yeah, being open to what wants to be created, what gives you joy, what, yeah, sharing from this, yeah, what wants to be shared from your heart. And we like this phrase by Gabrielle Bernstein: joy is the ultimate creator. So if you tune into your joy, what wants to come out, what is alive in you? How do you express yourself? Yeah, so tune into that. And then we'll move to beloved body. So just as we checked in to start with, connecting to your beautiful hair or or your belly or your feet and how they carry you. And I really love this loving, grateful way of looking at your body and knowing that it's always working. And even if it's not working the way you think it should, how can you still honor that it's your body, it's your vessel that helps you move through this life, and also wants to be moved in whatever way is possible for your body. Yeah, and how it also holds a lot of wisdom for us. So tune into that feeling, to that energy. And let it show up on your paper. And again, it can change, it can vary from day to day and from moment to moment how you feel or how you nurture this part. So it's just about checking in and seeing where you're right now. And when you're ready, we'll move to relationships. And this is relationships in the biggest way you can think of. So your relation to yourself, your relation to other people, to other living beings, to spirit, to earth, connections. There are so many ways to connect and to relate to something. And yeah, to me, it's also about, especially when it comes to people or myself, there's this part where it can, there's little friction or it doesn't always feel nice. But when we move into the space of knowing that we are connected in this bigger part, we call this holding space for each other, that it's not so much about, again, you or me and who's right and who's wrong, but it's also about where do we keep meeting each other, even if there's friction and if there's on another level that we don't agree, but where can we still find each other and hold each other in
Mm.
this, yeah, dance in people, in yourself, in relationships. So tune into that. And again, you can put your hand on the paper. I like to rub it a little bit. Yeah, and then also tune into nature's wisdom, and how nature can have this healing effect on us instantly when I step into nature, and or just my backyard, looking at trees or a bird, or how it can bring us back so quickly and remind us of this unity in the bigger whole we're part of, and also um, yeah, and invite the wisdom that nature holds for us. So much easier for me to tune into my own wisdom as well when I'm in nature. And it has to do with these cycles, the rhythms that nature shows us, the ebb and flow, the the cycles of the seasons, of, if you're a woman, your own cycle, all these different rhythms that, yeah, kind of
Mm.
like music of life, they mix together, and it's this symphony of different rhythms. How to find your own rhythm. Yeah. I always move when I talk. I can only express what I feel through moving. Well, not only, but it's a good way to do it. So if you check in with nature's wisdom and your own cycles, how do you practice this? Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you. Ik zal het eruit knippen.
Dat kan ook nog, ja. Ik weet niet zo goed of mijn computer het helemaal gaat halen. Zeg maar.
We gaan lekker door. And then move on to giving and receiving. For me, this is really about the abundance of life, because giving and receiving always go hand in hand. That's one big thing I've learned, especially from working with Marika and all the different roads we've taken. There's this constant exchange, and kind of, again, movement between giving and receiving, and where they're both invited. You tap into abundance. There's always enough. Yeah. And how do you do that? Where maybe, for a lot of us, I think it's easy to give. It's easy to be focused on the other person, or share your gifts, which is a gift in itself. Can we also receive? Can we allow ourselves to also be held by others, to receive anything that you need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. And then we come to open to learning. And like Marika said at the beginning, your curiosity, your eagerness to soak in new things, and also know that um, it's not linear, but it's kind of a circular growth. It's about, yeah, these waves of, you know, entering new patterns and then learning about them, and maybe see them again and again in your life, but also know that it's never exactly the same point in your life. It's always a new piece, a new, yeah. Um, I don't want to say new level, but maybe it is, you know. Um, yeah, and how we also kind of, by learning and by being open to learning and following our own curiosity, and that also peel off the layers of the things that we maybe no longer need,
Mm.
so that learning can also be unlearning what we we need to let go in order to find the true essence, or yeah, the, the true wisdom that we seek.
Mm. Yeah, and then it becomes like connected to the heart as well,
Mm.
you know. Then it's not just more information,
Mm.
but it's like, yeah, also checking in with your own truth.
Mm, I'd like that, checking in with my own truth. Yeah. And then the last one, awareness. Yeah. And we really thought about the word for this one, because it's so much more than just, it's about being present, being aware of what happens, but it's also about the movement that comes with being aware. So, kind of the stillness of reflecting, tuning into yourself, or find out what matters to you, what's important to you, and also again how you, yeah, give meaning to your life, how you want to take steps towards something that is important to you and contribute in your own way to the bigger part that we are part of. And also know, I love, we do with this ritual where you take a piece of thread and only take responsibility of your piece, your part, even though you're part of a bigger whole. But this is my piece. This, what do I want to do with this? So awareness is also about, yeah, the movement that comes with being present and tuning into yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and about that you're somehow aware that maybe not there's a bigger whole than just the physical plane, just the physical things that we can see, that we can hear.
Mm.
There's like this, in my work with family constellations, there's this bigger field that wants to be known by us, and so, yeah, you can, sometimes you can call it religion, or spirituality, but all those words can be so narrowing at times as well. So we like the word awareness because it has this energy of opening up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you're open to, yeah, so maybe there are spirit helpers, or maybe there is, you know, something in life that my mind doesn't understand, but when I am aware of that the possibilities there, then suddenly you see something. You can, you know, you can be guided by a card, or
Mm.
you can be, there's this exactly the song that you needed to hear
Mm.
is on the radio. It's, yeah, I like that magical part of that. Mm.
Yeah, and then after all that magic, it might look like this, and again, might look completely different for you. Um,
Yeah, I'll share mine in a second.
and it can also be nice to share with someone. I don't know, maybe you invite a friend to this circle and then share with him or her what you've, um, yeah, what you learned or kind of insights this exercise has brought you. And
So this is mine.
mm,
Yeah,
ah,
I wanted to be playful this time.
yes.
So, um,
I like how we both have with the creativity and joy kind of these confetti like
yeah,
figures inside of it.
yeah, this is actually, I was trying to make like little birds, because I could really suddenly feel, oh, if I tune into my joy and creativity, I feel such freedom. And I feel like my wings want to spread out. And yeah, yeah. And I like how it always takes me, it always does take me like a few seconds to let go of the thoughts of how it should be, and then just to think, okay, I'm opening up. So yeah, it can be that something came up and you think, oh, I don't understand it. We invite you to just be patient with it, to just say, okay, I have no clue yet, but I
Mm.
trust that it will become clear later on.
Yeah,
Yeah. So maybe somewhere in some of the conversations, someone says something and you think, oh, that's it.
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Perfect.
yeah.
Hmm. So we will take you on the second part of our exercise of tuning in, of, checking in how you are and where you're at. And then to feel, so what could I do to to give more attention to the thing that maybe was a little low, or was a little scattered, or was a little, yeah, I couldn't quite get it yet. And I love this exercise. It's one that I first did learn from Amber, who's also part of our beautiful circle, and it's part of the intentional creativity way of, yeah, of working, of getting something clear. And it's called the good, better, best. And as you can see, I felt like the egg of my booklet, of my journal, wanted to come in, and they overlap a little, because it's not, also with this, it's never, either or. It's never either or and disconnected. It's always connected. And the good is, something you can do in 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 1 minute, taking 3 breaths. What can you do? And then the better, so that's good enough. If you do that, that's good. It's not like, oh, I should have done more. No, that's good. That is a loving 5 minutes for yourself. And then the better, if you have more time, if you have more energy, you could do something that maybe takes 30 minutes, or an hour, or an hour and a half. um, and then the best, is if you have a lot of time. So you go to the you go a whole day to the sauna, or you go to Hawaii for
Mm.
a beautiful retreat. That was definitely your best, but I cannot do that every day. I cannot do that every week. I can't even do that every year. But so if that is my goal, then I'm always disappointing myself. Then I'm always kind of letting myself down. But 5 minutes and they're good, then I can always build myself up. There's this, it becomes more juicy if I think, oh, I actually did take care of myself because I did, 5 minutes of that. And so to kind of let go of the image that all these things need to be big and take a lot of time and not, and then you get into this, oh, but that doesn't fit into my busy schedule with all the other things I need to do. Yeah, so we really invite you to tune in. What can you do for 5 minutes about nourishing self-care? What comes up when you feel like, okay, but that is like a really small thing that I can do regularly, that um that is how I take care of myself in a way that nourishes. And then you tune into something, okay, what can I do that is a little bit, that takes a little bit longer time, that takes maybe a bit more, it might cost some money, or it you need a little bit more energy, or you need a bigger space to do that. And then you tune into what is the best. So let's start with the nurturing self-care.
Yes. I always love with this exercise of tuning into these little things because they're
Yeah.
sometimes I forget how easy it can be, instead of, as you said, wanting to exercise every week for so many minutes. That's one for me. We talk about beloved buddy, we'll get there.
Hmm.
That I think I should be doing. But what if I allow myself to just dance to one song in the morning or in the shower? That might be slippery, but that's enough for my body to get my juices flowing and get my, yeah, to know every part, touch every part of my body. Yeah, it's such a different way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can work in your own time. You can, you have the 9 ways, you have them there, but I will take you through it if you want a little bit more guidance. So feel what is best for you. So the relaxation, what can you do in 5 minutes that kind of brings your nervous system to rest, brings your breath to rest. Um, you know, if you're a busy mother of four, just an example, you might think, oh, I want to go to a solitary island, and just, but yeah, that's not your life. Your life is here with where you are. So what can you do for 5 minutes? What can you do for, half an hour or an hour? What can you do for like a half a day or a whole day or a little longer? That is about really coming into the relaxed state. And I what I also noticed that with the best I I've written, like, for this one, I wrote down reading in bed. And I think, oh yeah, I hardly ever allow myself to really do that. But if I realize now that it serves my purpose of relaxation and recharging, then yeah, then
I
it's
might do that tomorrow.
yeah.
That's an easy step, right? To start
Yeah.
your day. Yeah. Or finish. Yeah. I love that I'm at giving and receiving. I'm someone who never does it in the right order. I
Uh,
pops up and I put it somewhere. Um, and I that's one of the ways that I always kind of think. I get in my head and start thinking, how do I do this giving and receiving? But then I always think, oh, just think of a few things that I'm grateful for. That's
mm,
tuning into my abundance, giving and receiving in such an easy way. But I've practiced it for years, and still I sometimes forget. So doing this, yeah, like you said, helps me to remember all my
yeah,
practices.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you also realize, but I have so much that I can already do. It's not like, you know, we grow up thinking that we have to, that we're never there yet.
Mm,
But what we're doing here is to realize, oh, but I'm there already.
mm,
I just need to, you know, embrace it maybe a little more, or honor it a little more, and yeah, take time for it.
mm.
Yeah. So the third one, I will do the correct order. No. But I'll go with the what we thought up.
Yes.
So the um creativity and joy. I wrote down the neurographic doodling. I love this. Just 5 minutes to make a round, to draw some lines, and then just start connecting them, and that is actually also something that makes my mind come to rest. But it's also something that I'm always curious what's going to show up. And then yeah, for the best, I'm really happy that somewhere in between our circle, Amber's retreat is going to be there, the one that I was in Hawaii last year. And now I'm going to take the time to really, like, in the weekend, just take time for, yeah, painting. Just go through this process and do the, take time for the hula, and connect with other women, and to really say, okay, so these few hours are mine. And yeah, you never know what's going to happen next from there. Yeah. So that's the creativity and joy. And then you come to the loving your body. So what can you do for 5 minutes that will remind you that you are loving your body? Because that's also, it's about reminding ourselves that, oh, of course, yeah, I can love my body. And it doesn't mean that I go out into the street and shout, look at me. But I can, when I have taken a shower, or when I'm in the shower, can I just rub the soap on, or do I do it gently, and say, maybe let my fingers say thank you, thank you, thank you, so
Mm.
it's so, yeah. Yeah, and then what can you do that is a bit longer? And then what can you do that maybe takes a day?
Mm.
Massages come up.
Yes.
But also dancing comes up
Mm.
as
Yeah.
well.
Or
Mm.
putting my feet in a little water with some essential oil. It's so easy to do that, but I always forget that I can. It's just a bucket with water and a nice fragrance, and I can just sit for 5-10 minutes.
That's a great thing that
Love
you can
that.
do
Yeah,
while you're listening to the conversations.
exactly. Yeah,
We love combining things.
yeah, yeah. That was what I was about to say, because some of them come up. I know, um, last weekend I was at the funeral of my grandmother, just to give a good example of how to take care of yourself when life throws things at you, and where you want to be resilient. I gave myself permission to stand before her coffin. It
Mhm.
sounds so big. Well, it was big. And then I put one hand on my heart, one hand on my belly, on my womb space, and just connected to my body. And by connecting to my body, I could, hold myself in my grief, in all the feelings that came up when I was there. And at the same time feel so much gratefulness that because of her and my other grandparents, this body was created.
Yeah.
This body wasn't even there without her. So, and the gratefulness then links to, for me, to giving and receiving, and also to relationships. So they're always woven together. They're never,
Yeah.
it's never just when I practice one, I also touch the others or ignite the others, maybe. Yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, so just to give an example of how we can use these tiny practices even in these bigger things in life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're really filling your bucket,
Yeah.
you're really filling your, I was going to say cup, but it's more like a bucket, you're filling this bucket of resilience, and then when you need it, like in that moment, it becomes more easily available to you. You still forget. I mean, in the heat of the moment, you might still forget, but you take a pause, and then it's there, and then you can reach it.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah, so the next one is nature. What can you do for 5 minutes that brings you the joy of nature, that brings you the connection to nature? Um, I actually wrote down for the better, so that what takes a little longer, is to really buy flowers that I love. I don't really do that a lot. Um, yeah, but still, when I do, I am so happy. You know, I love having these fresh flowers, and to watch them open, and then the tulips, they when they're really older, they have such beautiful shapes, and they age well. Like, oh yeah, that's true. So I like that. Yeah.
It's funny, I had exactly the same one.
Oh
Buy flowers for myself. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And at the same time, that's, to me, that's also honoring the relationship I have with myself, by saying I'm important enough to buy myself flowers.
Yeah.
I have a boyfriend who might do it, but I can give it to myself as well. So it's also about the relationship I have with myself, but also with, yeah,
Yeah.
remembering nature. Or I love crystals. Even ever since I was, I don't know, maybe 4, I was kind of mesmerized, or I don't know, was really drawn to them, and I had this collection of all kinds of crystals around the world. Um, and yeah, looking at them also reminds me of the treasures that the earth gives us, just like flowers, but also yeah, the more solid. I like the, yeah, shiny.
Yeah.
Depends on the crystal, but yeah,
Yeah.
so many ways
Yeah.
to get into them.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we come to giving and receiving. No,
Yeah, giving and receiving. Or did you forget relationships?
yeah, we forgot relationships. I was actually there. So the relationships. we'll do the relationships first. Um, if you want to do them by order, and if you just want to do them crisscross, that's fine as well. So I love just texting in the morning when I wake up, and I don't go to my phone straight away, but then at some point I go to my phone, and then I think, I just want to send some love, text people some love. And and I just, I have some images or something that I, made myself, and I just, or I tell someone, I'll draw a card for you, or um yeah. And that that doesn't even take 5 minutes, and it always brings a smile to my face, regardless if what happens on the other side. But it just feels like, I can do that. I can, yeah. Yeah, so that's a 5-minute example. And then you have maybe asking someone, uh, we're a little bit in a like a strange situation still here in the Netherlands, that we cannot go out to dinner, or go out for a cup of tea, but you can ask someone to go for a walk in town and buy them a cup of tea, a takeaway. Or yeah, make a playlist for someone, like the
Hmm.
old-fashioned CD.
Mixtape. Oh no.
Yeah. But you can make a playlist for someone, or there's so much that you can do to, or actually take the time to just call and say, hey, it feels like, I just want to connect. You tell me, and I'll listen. Yeah.
I love doing this. I also love the variety of it. There's a few things, a few practices that I come back to regularly. This opens up like this, yeah, just like we said, this treasure chest of all things I can do. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the next one is giving and receiving. And you can that can be really related to, the relationships, but it can also be, um more, what do you receive from life? Or do you receive your own inner wisdom? Or do you kind of, do you receive your creative impulses, or do you kind of push them away? Yeah, so it can be towards another person, but you can also, you know mm, see what happens in yourself about the giving and receiving.
Hmm. Maybe one that I want to add that just popped up into my head is asking for help.
Mm.
We talked about this. And I know for many, many of us, as I said, it's easy to give or to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
To me, asking for help and, reaching out to someone, that's giving something to yourself and allowing you to receive as well. So yeah, that's a
Mm.
good one for me.
Yeah, and while you're doing this, you can also, mm, ik heb geen idee meer wat ik wilde gaan zeggen, dus deze moet er even uit.
Ik weet ook niet waar we waren. Ik was aan het nadenken.
Ja. Ja. Okay. Yeah, and I just want to say that I love that we also dare to do this, like, in real time. We could have prepared everything and just showed it, but it just feels so much more natural to actually for us as well to tune in this moment.
Mm.
What comes up for me when I think about giving and receiving, you know, and this word, it's called a priori gratitude, and it's like I think for what is coming.
Mm.
You know, I don't know what is coming, but I step into gratitude for whatever is coming. Yeah, so I like that in this as well. Mm.
Yeah, and I think it's also the most authentic way for us to do this, just um, yeah, show how we do it
Mm.
instead of making it a perfect, everything
Mm.
is in time, or yeah, thought of no, with this is not how I work. I have to
Yeah.
tune in, align, allow, let it come up, and then share it.
Mm. Yeah, and so then you come to the open to learning, your curiosity. What can you do to ignite your curiosity for, just a few minutes? Just like, how can you spark it? Doesn't have to become a full fire, but how do you spark your curiosity? And then if you have more time, what would be possible then? And if you have even more time, what would be possible then? So, yeah.
I just wrote down ask a question.
No.
It's funny because what question do I have to ask? But this, I love how children do this because they're just curious. They want to know, how does this work? What is this? Or I've been doing um, I've been practicing Zen Buddhism for quite some time now, and there's this part of it where you I don't know how to translate, but I think it's the same, a koan. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a question that doesn't have an answer, and just asking yourself this question again and again and again invites you to open up and be curious instead of having to find the answer.
Mm.
So just having this wonder mindset to life. How does wow, what is this? Wow,
Mm.
wow. Yeah. At the same time, it opens up this wonder to life. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Or just watch a YouTube clip of 5 minutes.
Yeah, I wrote down actually lost poetry. I'd
Mm.
love to like do this like really short thing where you just open a magazine and you just pick the 13th word of a few pages, and then you just make a poem, and you just go like, okay, show me, this. Yeah, it like this different way of sparking what life can also be. Yeah. When I have a little bit more time, I want to be reading yumminess. Like, so yeah, maybe there's a more sophisticated word, but no, this is the word. And it's about, it's books like Burning Woman, or Rise Sister Rise, or, you know, um, yeah, I don't know, just, or texts that really touch my heart. Yeah. Yeah. And then the last one on my list is the um, what can you do in 5 minutes or an hour or half a day to fill your bucket of awareness of what realizing that you're connected, that you're not alone, that you're held by a bigger field, by life, um, to really tune into what is happening inside. Um, yeah, what comes up for you when you mm, be quiet, to really kind of let whatever comes from the outside just be. I love doing constellation work when I have more time, to do, to really, for myself as well, to open up what hasn't been seen yet. And the one that I wrote down for 5 minutes, I will just show you for a moment. And that is to really lean back and trust that there's support, and to really lean into life, to just say, hmm. And I can imagine, the arms of Mother Earth behind me, or of my lineage, or of, I don't know, some angel that wants to show up, but me just leaning into it.
Mm.
Yeah. I think that's kind of my favorite practice.
Leading. Yeah.
Leaning into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, just take a moment to finish it, but you might end up with like this. You can color it in, or add maybe a symbol, and let it be a little bit of a, like a travel itinerary. So just look at it every now and then and think, okay, I'll read my good, because they're really easy. So I can smile in the mirror. Took me a long time to really do that, but now I can smile in the mirror and be happy with me. The 3 breaths, the neurographical doodling, just make these. Brushing, I love to dry brush, and really, my skin just goes like, yes, I'm awake. That I love the bare feet in the earth, on the earth, or in the
Mm.
sea, or on the beach. But my bare feet, they connect me to nature straight away. I can write a text. I can be just say thank you for, when I wake up in the morning, just say thank you for the day that is coming. Um, I love to just take a moment to tune into that. I can do the lost poetry, and I can lean back. So that is actually really doable. Even if my mind thinks, oh, but I'm really busy, or I don't feel like it, or whatever, that's okay. I can think all these things, and I can do this. Yeah. You want to share your 5 minutes?
Yeah, and I want to show you because
Mm.
I don't know how long we've been doing this, but it's so funny to see that my good list, I have 2 or 3 with each good,
Mm.
and my better and my best are a little harder for me. So it's so funny to see that, yeah, it becomes so much easier to do the little things. Um, and one of the things is listen to one song,
Mm.
only having to listen. Eat chocolate, a piece of chocolate, maybe the whole bar, but one piece might be better.
5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, I can do that in 5 minutes. I'll show you. No, um, one conscious breath. Yeah, read one poem or write a poem. I made one. One hand on my heart, one hand on my belly to connect to my body. Taking a cold shower in the morning. I almost do that every day. Sometimes 5 seconds, sometimes a little longer. Yeah, to really get me going, and yeah, feel my body. Sending a loving text, buy myself flowers, bare feet on the earth, watching my crystals, smile to myself or someone else, just walking by and sending a smile. Fortunately, we don't have to wear our masks everywhere. So or my neighbors, I don't have neighbors here that I can see and just smile at them or wave.
Yeah.
Um, ask one question, watch one YouTube video about something I like or that inspires me, doing a 5-minute writing exercise or drawing a card.
Yeah.
So easy.
So easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will put, I like Marika said, we have these videos of making your own journal. This is mine. And usually I put it in right away, but I will leave this one out just for the coming days to remind me of how easy it can become to do one thing.
Yeah.
Just show them. Wow. If you still haven't done this, if you haven't done this and want to do it, make sure to check out the Creative Resilience page on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll show you how to color it in.
Color it in.
Give it space. Give it images, anything, words, nature, whatever.
Okay. Well, we hope you really enjoyed this. We had a good time. So that's already 2 people that we made happy. Yeah, and invite friends to come and listen. It's really nice to do stuff like this together, so you can exchange and see. Yeah, and inspire each other. We need each other. We need everyone to, who feels called to show up, not to step up. That feels like you have to do something. Show up and say, I am willing. And I don't know how, but I am willing. And I think that our lights are needed, so needed.
Yeah.
So we invite you to shine yours.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing I want to add to that is it's fine if it's just a tiny, tiny flame, for a long part. And so even still some days I feel like I have to burn and be on fire and there's this energy inside me that wants to be full power, but the days where my flame is just tiny, like this, I don't know how to say that in English, but like a wake flame, is that the right word? Even when it's tiny, it's still a flame that I can honor and that I can still gives light. Yeah.
Yeah. So a hoe to the light.
A hoe to the light, yes. And welcome to this circle.